Greetings, Saberites! Anonymous here. Wanted to finish up our Suma videos here with En-Suma. En-Suma is the rotation that corresponds with the cartwheel, right? In our terms, we call it the frontal plane. That's this right here, okay? Again, like I said, it corresponds to the cartwheel, to this kind of motion here. And it is probably most useful as a yielding measure or a control measure. It's used a lot in throwing, it's used a lot in binding and getting in and then moving out. So it has to do a lot with blending with the opponent or blending with whatever force is going with you and being able to just kind of follow through that. When we look at our normal strikes, the follow-throughs generally can lead into En-Suma. So while we can pretty much say this is the En-Suma motion here, it's not going to be directly that useful for striking, right? More, it's this whole apparatus which is going to be useful not only for striking, but for moving around and making sure that you're not getting bound up in the opponent, they're not grabbing you, all of that. Throwing becomes very, very important here because as we come in to execute a throw, either from a bind or just from a strike, when we come in here, this portion right here is going to be what is going to bring them into us, and then as we step around and use our other to Suma, we can then use that to put them into position, throw them over our head. If that's being done to us, we can then easily, well, not easily, but do a cartwheel to save ourselves from the throw. These two kind of techniques, which are linked obviously, don't come up a whole lot when we're talking about single combat. And they don't come up a whole lot outside of choreography and all of that. However, saying that, I have seen it done in moments of desperation. So at the very least, doing something like this is good practice. Now, back to the Suma and how it's going, how to regress it off of if you can't do a cartwheel, if you can't, go head over heels. You don't need to, right? Again, like I said, it's this motion here, right? The beginning of a cartwheel, even if we just go down here like that, or down here like that, those are still the same motions. If somebody is pulling us over to the side, we can yield in with that. If we can do a cartwheel, we can cartwheel out of it. If not, we can come up here. More than likely, that the further we can kind of even just go in that direction, the less effect a throw or some sort of push is going to have on us. As far as sabers goes, and as far as your weapon goes, when you are trying to meld with the opponent, whether they're coming in with a barrage of strikes, whether they're coming in with certain arcs that you're having a hard time dealing with, and you say, want to use the Sarlacc sweep is a good way to interrupt that thing, because that's a very, very good thing to do. As I start sweeping upward, here like this motion, you can call it my major orbits, the Sarlacc sweep, or En-Suma, same thing. If I use it with steps, now I have a lot of the repositioning and footwork and all of that. Just like in the butterfly kick and other things, just doing a little hop skip with your feet is often enough to get you out of trouble. So that's really where En-Suma fits in here. If we look at the Suma as far as Ashla Bogan, hard, soft, attack, defense, Tom-Suma is going to be your power, right? Jong-Suma is going to be both. It's going to allow you to kind of move either with or against. And En-Suma is going to be your soft or your yielding or your Bogan, that kind of thing. So next we're going to take a look at some of the throws and some of the escapes. Enjoy that. Remember, when you're practicing these, always take it to your level. Don't worry about doing it at the level that you see other people doing it. It's all up to you. You're making the improvements, and you're making the improvements based on what you could do before, not what somebody else could do before. All right, so check out these little techniques here at the end. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Happy sabering. I should say, this is the sagittal plane. This is the frontal plane that we're talking about today. Let me start.